What's up, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you a shitty mobile upload because I should have pre-recorded this, but I did not, so it is a last-minute review. But anyway, I am here for your Tuesday review on body bags. This is week 230, I believe, and today I'm going to be talking about the classic Psycho Part 3. These movies, all three of these sequels in particular, I used to rewatch quite a bit in middle school, and I don't know, I just love them so much. I like the first one as well, but I had these on DVD and I had the first one on VHS, so these were more convenient for me to rewatch. But anyway, Psycho 3, the plot of Psycho 3 is basically you have Norman Bates he has reopened his motel, and he is still dealing with the battle between him and his mother. And obviously this takes place after events in Psycho 2. There is some continuity going on here, so I would definitely say check out Psycho 2 before seeing Part 3. But anyway, you have Norman. He is still dealing with these issues. Meanwhile, he has a girl who comes upon the motel. She has a pretty troubled past. She has kind of hit rock bottom, and she kind of reminds him a bit of Marion Crane from the first one, so he is dealing with issues with that as well. First off, I gotta say, this whole movie always just felt like a very beautiful love letter to the original Psycho, and you could definitely tell that Anthony Perkins really wanted to pay respect to that movie. There's a lot of shots in this that are just pretty much lifted from the original movie, as well as some lines, and sometimes that could come off as like cheesy or cheap, but in this movie it just feels like there's a lot of heart behind it, and his intentions were really good. This has always been one of my favorite sequels, or part 3s rather, in a franchise, and it's honestly one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I've been on a kick of rewatching movies that I really enjoy, and I just think Anthony Perkins' performance in this is really, really well done. He knows the character more than anyone by now, the Norman Bates character, and this was kind of his movie, the one he directed, so it definitely shows that he kind of took the character into his own hands and did what he felt was how the character should be done at this point in life. Seeing like after the events of part 2 and part 1, like it definitely fits the way he's acting in this. He's very kind of paranoid. He's definitely like on the borderline of crazy and not crazy, and I think he just sells it really well. The only problem I've really ever had with this movie is kind of just the storyline with the Maureen character. I think it's kind of weird how it's just so random. Like, you have this like nun who commits like a crime and comes to the motel. It's just a really weird storyline to me, and also the soundtrack in it, the score rather, is very almost like demonic sounding at times, like something you would see in it sounds like something you would hear in a movie like The Omen, and I don't really care for it too much. If you've watched these movies, you know that the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one, they all have their own individual scores. It's not like they just lifted the classic score from the first one and put it in all these movies. And I really like the score in part 2 a little bit more than in this one, but it still has some good moments to it, like there's some sleazy scenes in this movie where the score really works well for it. And I know Anthony Perkins wanted to make this in black and white originally, which I think would have been awesome, but I also think it's awesome in color. There's a lot of good shots in it, like especially there's a shot where he opens the door to the motel and you just see like Bates Motel behind him. It's very, very brief, but it's something I picked up the last time I watched it, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Basically I really enjoy the story. Besides kind of the nun thing, I still think it's a pretty cool story. You kind of see like Norman struggling once again with liking a girl, and his mother's side coming out and interfering with that, and then you deal with characters who are kind of trying to get Norman in trouble again, they feel that something's up and they want him locked away. And I always like that you always kind of feel for Norman, even though what he's doing is bad. It's like he has psychological issues, so you kind of don't ever want him to get caught because he is such a nice guy. He seems like he would just be the typical gentleman if he wasn't dealing with these problems. So, I've always really liked that. And, Yeah, I mean, that's kind of about it. Like I said, if you haven't seen the Psycho sequels, you definitely should. I feel like even though people who watch them do give them high praise, I still feel like they're underrated and a lot of people don't know about them because, you got Psycho is a classic movie and you would think sequels to it would never work, especially years later, but they absolutely do work in this instance. So definitely check out the sequels and, watch them in order because like I said, they do continue along. It's not just random, and you really get a feel for Norman's story. So yeah, Psycho 3, highly recommend it. I give this one a 9 out of 10. Sorry for this shitty in the car review, guys. Next time I'll be more prepared. I know there's like no light on me whatsoever. It is late at night, but yeah, Psycho 3, 9 out of 10. I'll see you guys next week.